We have with us Anna Mae Wolf. Anna Mae is a longtime resident of the Oley Valley, worked at the school district for a very long time, and also from the fair side was publicity chair for 14 years and served on the entertainment committee as well as helped in many areas. Welcome, Anna Mae.
Thank you very much.
What would you like to share with us about the Oley Fair and your memories?
Well, there are so many, of course, they all run together, but I do remember it from the very beginning. I think I must have been about 7 years old when they started. And I just remember that it was a big deal. We were getting 2.5 days off from school, but we were expected to help set up. Maybe not when I was 7 years old, second grade, but from then on through high school, we were expected to help move tables, chairs, desks, in order for them to set up for exhibiting in the high school building, or the whole elementary high school building. And when the fair started, I loved going around to all the rooms. Even though we didn't have a school, I was there every day as much as I could. And we would run around not only to the different rooms in the building, but we would go outside because many of the exhibits, some of the commercials, and of course the animals were in tents outside. And we would pick up the giveaways, rulers, fly swatters, brochures that I was never going to read, but there was a Halloween parade coming along. So I took these brochures, and with a little hand punch, I punched all these little holes out to make confetti. Well, it would have taken a lot of brochures, plus they were glossy, so when I did throw them, those little pieces of paper would get in my eyes. So not the best idea. But they also would announce over the PA system every now and then prizes being given away, and my name was mentioned, and I won a nice little retractable gold, I think it was a lead pencil. It would come down from about this size to this size, and I thought that was the greatest thing. So that was my routine for fairs until I was a high school senior. Then, of course, we had the cake and cider stand, which was a great thing that subsidized our trip to New York City at the end of the year. And from there, I do want to say that from the beginning, it was such a sense of community, bringing everyone together. Administrators at school, teachers, the farmers. It was especially neat to see Fred Stauffer, who was our supervising principal at the time. That equates to superintendent nowadays. But to see him in short sleeves and actually doing some sort of work other than a suit and disciplining us kids. But from that time on, it just instilled this volunteerism in the Oley Valley that I still see after all these years coming back to the fair. Also, as I did serve a little bit on the entertainment committee. Entertainment used to be just little bands and groups around the valley, but Bob Durr took over the entertainment chair, and he started punching it up a bit, and he asked me to be on that committee. There was only maybe 3 or 4 of us, and I felt so good because I made a call to the Grease Band, and they were a very popular Philadelphia, New Jersey type group, and they did consent to come up, and they had a great following. So we had from there on, the entertainment expanded into more big names like Bill Anderson and Barbara Fairchild, the Nashville stars. And then at the same time, I started serving on the publicity committee, and that time the committee was one person. And it remained like that for 14 years that I did it. But when I took over, it had been chaired by the Reppards Candy, and then Joan Wolfe right after that. And all I got was a list of not where to hang posters, but who to contact, newspapers, radio stations, but just a very short list. But I wasn't happy with that. I had to expand it a little bit, so it became a full-time job. Eastside Dave was going to appear at the fair, so he asked me to come in and do his radio show on a Sunday morning on WEU. And then also George Miser had a program on BCTV. So I publicized the fair on that. And the biggie when I first started was, at that time I was still working in the high school office, and people would call year-round, when is the Oley Fair? When is the Oley Fair? So I thought we would do more posters and even little flyers that you could pick up at the store. And then there was also a billboard right across from Weiss's store, and I don't think anyone was using it at the time. So I called, and they gave it to us free for that time of the fair. And when I announced that at one of our fair meetings, someone said, "Oh, everyone knows when the Oley Fair is. We don't need a billboard." And I said, "Oh, no." I said, "They call me when they want to know when the Oley Fair is." So the job expanded. And after 14 years, though, I did give it up. And the girls who took it over after that have expanded it even more with the internet and Facebook. And now everyone knows when the Oley Fair is. That's about it.
All right, do you have any special memories or one memory in particular from all of your years since you've been at almost every fair? I'm assuming you've been at every fair?
No, almost. I missed a few.
Okay.
Gosh, there are little memories that I would rather not. It involves boys, because that was a great meeting place or a great social time for those of us who went to school there. But, I wish I had thought of one special time, but they've all been special.
Since you just mentioned about that, do you recall offhand, and this is, that there's a WEU, the guy who does nationally on WE used to give little blurbs, and he was on the national level, talked about the Oley Fair one time. Do you remember who that was? Was it Paul Harvey? Was it Paul Harvey who had this story about the Oley Fair? Do you recall that?
Just something vaguely,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And I know I sent a postcard or an announcement of some sort to Willard Scott, and I got a standard postcard and said, "I'm sorry I can't be at your affair, your fundraiser, whatever, but wished us well."
Okay.
That's about the closest I could think to someone famous mentioning us.
Okay. Well, thank you, Anna Mae, and thank you for your great stories and your time that you've dedicated to the Oley Fair over the years.
Thank you, and it's been an honor.